I'm glad to have you rejoin me on the After Business Morning. Welcome to Global Business. And here we're going to be taking a look at business news stories making the rounds around the continent of Africa and indeed the rest of the world. My name is Ubong Kings. Here are the headlines that are making the rounds. We're starting off from the world of tech, where it's reported that Huawei is boosting AI ecosystem amid US sanctions. And stay from the foreign scene, Biden to ban Chinese vehicles from US roads. We'll bring you details of the stories and more right after this break. Please stay with us. Yes, indeed, you are watching the Global Business right here on the After Business Morning, and we will begin with business stories from the world of tech, where it's reported that Huawei, the Chinese telecommunications and smartphone giant, is aiming to speed up its AI ecosystem expansion in China, as it is planning more investment in the AI field for the next 5 years, where the investment will be fruitful in the long run, making the firm self-reliant in the technological field despite US sanctions and trade challenges, as the company is seeking new ways to expand its revenue with new products and smart AI solutions. Although the US has tried to hold Huawei and China from growing in advanced chip and AI fields, the tech giant is shaking hands with more industrial customers to pace with the growing AI demands. Now, if you ask me, one part of this story pops out for me, and that is the fact, the paragraph rather, that reads, let me just read that paragraph for you verbatim. Say that the US has tried to halt Huawei and China from growing in the advanced chip and AI fields. The question really is why? I would not dwell so much on this, because our next story would pretty much demand I dwell more on this phenomenon as perceived as a trade bully, for lack of better expression. However, his transform from about 2 months ago captures this analogy and now reports. Let's take a look.
Recently, Huawei's cloud CEO, Zhang Ping'an, spoke at the World AI Conference in Shanghai. He tackled concerns about China's AI progress being slowed by US sanctions on advanced chips like NVIDIA's H100 and H200. Zhang admitted that China faces some challenges with limited access to the best AI processors. But he was clear, China's AI ambitions shouldn't hinge on having the absolute top-tier chips. Instead, Huawei is focusing on its own tech. They've developed the Ascend 910 series processors, which they say can compete with NVIDIA's A100. However, since companies like Baidu and Tencent can't get the latest NVIDIA chips without US approval, they have to rely on Huawei's processors. But there's a catch. These homegrown processors are made with older tech and can't match the performance of the latest from AMD or NVIDIA. So what can Huawei do? Zhang suggests a smart approach, combining cloud, edge, and network technologies to make AI work more efficiently. He highlighted that Huawei Cloud is a leading provider of AI services. Let's break down what this means. Cloud technology allows for the storage and processing of data over the internet, rather than on local servers or personal devices. By leveraging cloud technology, Huawei can potentially overcome some of the limitations posed by not having the most advanced AI chips. In addition to cloud technology, edge computing plays a crucial role. Edge computing involves processing data closer to where it's generated, which can improve response times and save bandwidth. When combined with advanced network technologies, these approaches can create a more efficient and powerful AI infrastructure. So how does this work in practice? Huawei's strategy involves using a mix of their own Ascend processors and cloud services to handle AI tasks. This approach can help in training large language models and running complex AI algorithms, even without the latest NVIDIA chips. Zhang's vision extends beyond just technology. He emphasizes the importance of innovation and collaboration within China's tech industry. By working together and leveraging domestic technologies, China can continue to make significant strides in AI.
Oh well, China says they can, continue this trend. Well, we're moving on to a pretty much related business story, where it was reported that the United States President Joe Biden is said to prohibit key Chinese software and hardware in connected vehicles on American roads due to national security concerns, a move that will effectively bar Chinese cars and trucks from the US market and would also force American and other major automakers in years ahead to remove key Chinese software and hardware from vehicles in the United States. Unfortunately, the proposed prohibitions would prevent testing of self-driving cars on US roads by Chinese automakers and extend to vehicle software and hardware produced by Russia and could be extended to other US adversaries. Now, let's hold up a moment or two. There's something from this story that doesn't quite sit well with me. That last paragraph, again, is worthy of emphasis. It says, unfortunately, the proposed prohibitions would prevent testing of self-driving cars by Chinese automakers. One, and then probably extend to vehicle software and hardware produced by Russia. Two, and could be extended even further to other US adversaries. 3. Key phrases: Chinese automakers, hardware produced by Russia, and number 3 is other US adversaries. Other US adversaries? Why does this feel like it's an all-out war against the economies that are not dependent on the West? Why does it feel that way? However, the Washington Examiner takes a look at this development, and this report is presented from our studios. Take a look.
The Biden administration has proposed a ban on all vehicles with hardware or software from China or Russia on U.S. roads due to national security concerns. This proposal was announced by the Commerce Department and aims to be in effect before the next president takes office in January 2025. Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo explained, modern cars have internet-connected technologies like cameras and GPS. These could be exploited by foreign adversaries, posing risks to national security and citizens' privacy. She warned such technologies might allow a foreign enemy to control U.S. vehicles remotely. The ban would not affect vehicles already in the U.S. It targets Chinese software starting in model year 2027 and Chinese hardware in model year 2030. It would apply to passenger vehicles, trucks, and buses that use internet connections, but not vehicles used in mining or agriculture. Officials emphasize that this proposal is about security, not politics. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan noted past incidents of foreign threats to U.S. infrastructure, mentioning a cyber campaign called Volt Typhoon that could disrupt military operations. Currently, very few vehicles in the US use Chinese or Russian technology. Popular brands like Polestar and Volvo have a small market share. In early 2024, about 28,000 vehicles from China were sold in the US, while imports from Russia are minimal. The administration aims to reduce China's influence in the US auto market, particularly in electric vehicles. There will be a 30-day public comment period before the rule is finalized. Chinese officials criticized the proposal as discriminatory, urging the U.S. to provide a fair business environment. They have also imposed restrictions on U.S.-made Tesla vehicles in the past, citing national.
You see, it's one thing for things like this to be done, it's another thing for the people to get to react to it. And based on that, let's take a look at some comments that trade this development from X platform, formerly Twitter. We've had quite a number of responses with reference to this, and we're going to be seeing them on your screen in a bit. This particular response here says, well, this is part, it comes on top of a 100% tariff, so to speak, which of course, well, it's apparently not protection enough for the government of the day. And then moving away from that to other, so to speak, other responses right there on X. We have quite a number of them. This one says, China bans all US, so to speak, all US electronic products for the same reason iPhones, etc., Tesla, etc., Boeing, etc. And then response there says China didn't ban any of this. Quite the contrary. Like he did write in from a post, Tesla, China churns out over half of the world's Teslas. Same for Apple. You have Apple stores everywhere in China. And moving on to other responses, still on this same issue on comments regarding this development. This one says they cannot compete and more importantly, do not want to compete. These people are not industrial capitalists. They are finance capitalists. They uphold labor and value finance capital. That's money. Hence, they want to use AI not to augment labor, but to replace and discard human labor altogether. This is because they see it as more profitable. And they imagine that this, by reducing the population and for implementing massive welfare to recirculate money that they create directly back to the police, and quite a whole lot of other stuff. And we're going to be taking some more of those comments real quickly before we take our break. Let's look at this other one. This one says, all capitalist countries, capitalists in quotes, turn protectionist when the going gets tough. England was all for capitalism, free markets, and the invisible hand as long as it was a top exporter. The moment Germans appeared around 1870, it introduced made in England, and then tariffs around 1895. Moving on to other comments making the rounds still on X this morning. I guess, okay, no, that's not all. This other one says the purported issue of Chinese software spying on Americans in Chinese cars like TikTok or Huawei is likely to cover actions taken to avoid fair competition on level playing ground. Yeah, the efforts to block Chinese access to all of this is premeditated. And this other one says the funniest part is that it comes on top of a 100% tariff, which apparently is not protection enough. Anyway, you could go to, pretty much you may want to join on this conversation on our dedicated After Business YouTube channel. You may want to go to www.youtube.com/AfterBusiness. While you're there, you do well to hit the like button and of course subscribe so you get notifications on all business related content coming to you from Afia TV. And coming up next will be more business news stories, and this time around I'm pretty much going to have a conversation about the interest rate hike in the US vis-a-vis handling that side by side with that happened in Nigeria just yesterday, right after this time out. Please stay.